So today we're going to be installing the metal Mulisha stainless steel exhaust from Gibson Performance on our 2018 Tundra. As you see, we got all the parts here. There's one pipe not over here, but that's for the older models. And now we need to get ready to install. So here's the connections to the cats. First hanger, exhaust. This is the joint that moves. We're going to take that off. The other hanger is right there. And then, of course, the final hanger is right back there next to the spare tire. The instructions say to take this and cut it over here. I'm going to try to take this apart and separate it so I don't have to cut it in case I need to do something with it or want to sell it. Those are 14s. This one's a 12. And those should be the majority of the bolts you got to deal with. Make sure you follow the instructions. Remember, you may need some of the gaskets up here on this front connections. And it's good to put WD-40 on these to take them off because you're going to reuse these with this kit. And now let's start undoing some bolts. And I'll get back to you when I get to that point. So I got that clamp off. Of course, these came off. This truck only has like 1,500 miles. So as soon as I moved that, the back hanger fell out. So now I do believe I can get this out without having to cut it, which will be great. And that's where the flex joint looks like after you take the clamp off. On to the next part. Came out whole, easy. Now my assistant's moving it out from under the truck. So I don't mention there was only one hanger up here, but there's actually this one. I missed it. And these, of course, I used the impact wrench down there to pull that last clamp off. It's going to be hard to get that up here to the top because I don't have an air ratchet. So that'll be the next step, is breaking these loose using a nice little ratchet wrench, 14mm. On to pulling those off. Alright, so I got the bolts out here. Last step is to start pulling it from the hangers and take this big giant exhaust out so we can start putting in the new one. And if you're doing this on an older vehicle that's got more miles and stuff, you might need to use, some WD-40 on these bolts. And it's usually good to put some anti-seize on the new ones going back in, but we'll get to that when we get there. So as you can see, there's the mufflers out. It was easier to take them off, the hangers off the car part, the truck portion, versus the exhaust from underneath. And the front ones are easier to get off while this was on. And so it got left, and as you can see, the back one's still on there too. Now let's start putting back together the new one. It looks like both the gaskets stayed on, which is good. Means I don't have to deal with that later. See you in a minute. So as you can see, I got the passenger side pipe on. Down here, of course, I'll go with the muffler. Next one is this. Onto it. Alright, second pipe on. Went fairly smooth. Now to do the whole fun part with the muffler. Get it connected and hung, and then I'll get the clamps in here and go from there. So I got it on. This way, clamps are coming next. You'll notice that the hanger is used backwards here. And this is a pretty tight fit. They don't want to quite just slide right in place. You got to kind of squeeze the two pipes here together so you get to fit the way this is already built. It works. Careful trying to get it on. You don't want to beat on the other end down here. If you do, make sure you use a rubber mallet and a block, and be careful. Cover the whole thing when you do. This whole piece. I still don't suggest it too much, but you'll see it in most videos doing installs. I use my hands, got a good 2-3 inches up, whatever the flare is over the other pipes. And now to get the clamps in and start working with this. Okay, those two are on. Not tightened yet, just for working on. Got the pipe in. Looks pretty good. Making sure I don't see any gaps there. Alright, so got everything tightened up here. Now is the tip. And then we'll get to start it up and see what it sounds like. So now the tip's on, tightened. Had to do a little straightening on the outlet portion of the actual pipe coming out from under the truck. Had a little dent in it when I got it. Little crescent wrench. Straighten it out a little bit. And it's on. Next up is to get everything picked up here and then see how it sounds. So now we're gonna listen to it run. Yeah, it's kind of muddy. It's been raining. Gotta unlock it, I guess. That's with the door open. Inside. Of course, it's still warming up doing that whole thing. So let's give it a minute to warm up. Now back out. As you can see, I test drove it, so I kind of got covered in mud again. Inside, underneath. All looks nice. Once again, just to hear